What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining me from. It is a pleasure to join you once again. My name, as always, Max Whitman. Joining you today for a little Book It Better, the glorious return of Book It Better, guys. It has been a long time. Jesus, it's been months even. Let me turn off my music here. Let's get gotta get Peg and the Rejected pause there. That was Red, White, Black, and Blue by Peg and Rejected, by the way. Guys, it feels great to be back on the air. I gotta be honest, it has been probably about 3 months, 2 months maybe, since we posted any kind of content. And I gotta be honest, it was the Tourney of the Goats wore me out, man. It was a little bit of everything. It was the Tourney of the Goats it took way longer than I thought it was going to take. It was way more work than I thought it was going to be. I'm glad we did it. I never want to do it again, at least not on that scale. 64 workers is far too many. I could certainly see maybe doing that again with half that, but it was something that I really, really wanted to do. I wanted to do a tournament like that in Fire Pro, and I'm glad we did it. But it really burned me out. And then it ended kind of anticlimactic. The live stream kind of sucked. There was no audio. I don't know why. If I had known there was no audio, I would have saved the audio and gone back and added audio after the fact in post-production. I didn't realize there was no audio. So really, it just was super anticlimactic. A lot of top guys went out early. Now, I like a few upsets here or there. I don't like to see all the top guys out early. That kind of takes the fun out, I think. But it was good. I'm glad we did it. It was a lot of work, but it was fun. I'm glad to be able to say that I did it. I haven't really seen a tournament like that on YouTube, so I don't want to say that I'm the first guy to ever do it or ever come up with the idea. But it was it was an accomplishment for me to be able to say, hey, this is what I did, and I wanted to get this done, and we did it. So that being said, it coincided with a promotion at work. The work that pays the bills, and it just between the constant work on the tournament and learning, on the job in my new role, it just really sucked the life out of me, really drained me. I always knew I wanted to come back to it, to the show, and it just took me a little longer. I really thought I was going to take 2 weeks off to kind of recharge the batteries and get back at it, and it ended up being closer to 2.5, 3 months. But one of the things that I really think is awesome, in that time, in those 2 months, y'all stayed subscribed, you kept commenting. Actually, I think we gained 5 subscribers in those 2 months. You guys kept commenting on the videos, and I tried to answer as many comments as I could. So it was really awesome to see that even when we weren't putting content up, you guys were still around, you were still checking out the channel. That being said, we're back, and I got the itch, I got the desire, and we're going to put WWF Classic on hold for now. I do have some cool ideas for that save, but I got a project here that I'm going to talk about today that I'm excited for, and I want to jump on that. And I figure we just finished WrestleMania in WWF, WrestleMania 11, so if I'm going to put that on hold, now's the time to do it. So we just finished WrestleMania, the storylines are all done. If I push forward a couple weeks or a couple months, and then decide, hey, you know what, I really wanted to do this other thing, then we're right in the middle of storylines and we leave people hanging. At least if I put it on hold now, WrestleMania just finished. Most, if not all, the storylines have concluded, and it was just a matter of starting up new storylines now. So post WrestleMania is a perfect time to put it on hold. because then I can come back a couple months and not have to try and remember where we were. It's just about starting something new. But the announcement that I want to make today, I'm going to try and get back. Today's what? Tuesday? No, today's Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. So I'm going to try and get back to every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I do have family in town this weekend, so this Friday is not going to happen. I got family in town. We're going apple picking, the baby. I do have another baby on the way, so things are going to get a little hectic. Now that baby's baby due in March. So over the next 9 months or so, things are going to be a little crazy. But I'm going to try and stick to Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I like that. If I have to go to just Monday and Friday, I'll do that. If I have to go to a little bit of a staggered schedule, I'll do that as well. But I'm settling into my new role at work. Things are slowing down for me, getting a little easier for me there. I'm learning a lot there and starting to kind of get back into it. So I've got my me time at home. Again, I'm not so focused on learning that new role and stuff. But this Friday, definitely not going to say anything on this Friday. But I definitely wanted to get something up today because I've got the time. And I wanted to at least let you guys know where we stand as a YouTube show, as a channel, and where we stand idea-wise for this show. Now, what I want to do, people have been asking me to do the Cornellverse for a while. The Cornellverse is by far my favorite way to play. I don't know if you can hear my creaky seat here. Every once in a while I move and it gives me a little creak. I don't know if you guys can hear that. The Cornellverse is by far my favorite way to play the game. I love real-world mods, don't get me wrong. I love historical mods. And I still want to do a modern-day WWE save at some point. I know there's a lot of them on YouTube. It's kind of overplayed. But the challenge of that is kind of alluring to me. I'd have to, my ultimate goal would be to find somebody either on the Book It Better team or even one of you guys to kind of take control of one of the brands, and we'd each control a brand. And I think that's kind of a cool thing. I might, maybe through Discord or something, start up a Book It Better Discord and do a booking by committee kind of thing for modern day WWE. I don't know. It is an idea that I have. But the Cornellverse, I love playing the Cornellverse, and I love it because it really is an awesome way. It's an awesome creative outlet. Because you can do anything with the Cornellverse. Guys can be anything. You might see Ricky DeColt as a Bret Hart style type of guy. Excuse me, I'm burping here. There's a burp. There it is. All right, now we're good. And I might see Ricky DeColt as a Shawn Michaels kind of guy or a Chris Jericho kind of guy. And I think that's really the beauty of the Cornellverse, is it's so open. And everybody has their favorites, and everyone has their favorites who maybe they suck, but they just like them anyway because they like their picture, they like their bio, or it just, and then competition-wise, it's a lot more open than a modern-day real-world save would be, because you've got the WWE and then all the minor leagues underneath. Whereas in the Cornellverse, you've got multiple national-level promotions. So, the idea for this, I am going to be doing the Cornellverse. We are playing as dun 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 North of the Border Pro Wrestling. We are North of the Border Pro Wrestling. Our user character is Victoria Stone McFly. She is the head booker of North of the Border Pro. We will be using her as the owner. However, for role-playing purposes, she's the head booker. She's not the owner. The only reason I made her the owner is because I didn't want owner goals to worry about, and I know I can turn those off, but I also wanted complete freedom and control over the hiring and firing of guys and how much money we could give people. And if you play as the head booker, sometimes the owner will put the nix on certain contracts. So we're playing as Victoria Stone McFly. Now, what I want this to be, this whole series is going to be one big Let's Learn series. The Let's Learns are super popular, and I love doing them. I love teaching about this game. I love talking about the game. It just, it really is, it's probably one of my all-time favorite games, ever, on the PC. So I love talking about it, and so I want this to be one giant Let's Learn series. Now, when I say that, I'm also going to keep some of the backstage stuff quiet, some of my storyline plans, but I kind of wanted to roll everything into one on this. So what you're going to get with this series is a lot of Let's Learns that'll just talk about the inner workings of the game and how I do things, and storyline planning and character development. Character development for sure. Character development is huge in North of the Border Pro. Not even North of the Border Pro, in the Cornellverse. And so that'll actually probably be the next video that I do, will be a character development, because I've done no work on that for this save. I've actually just started this. I've only simmed in 2 days to see a couple of contracts, contract situations, and we'll go over that. I'm sure you can see 2 of them here. We'll go over our planning sheet, our schedule, just things like that real quick. This is really not going to be too in-depth of an episode. I really just kind of wanted to get this video up so you guys knew that we were back. We're going to be coming back at you with a Cornellverse save. It's really more of a hype kind of thing than anything. I really just wanted to make a video here that just kind of gave you guys a heads up. Hey, we're not dead. We're coming back, and this is what we're doing. But we will go over a few things here. We'll go over a couple of contract offers that we've made. And actually, maybe, maybe we'll do a quick little tutorial on contract structure and that kind of stuff. So we are North of the Border Pro. I'll pull up my my planning sheet here, which we've covered before. If you go back through the Let's Learns, I think maybe the first one we did was about my planning sheet and how I plan my storylines and keep my roster. So this is just basically a, we do have a fairly small roster here. I need to add to this, actually. Did I not save it? Maybe I didn't save. So I do need to add. We signed Greg Gage. He'll be a lower mid card. No championship. And we also signed Frankie Perez. He'll be a lower mid card with no championship. Over here, I'm going to change used on the show. We're going to get rid of that. And what did I have that as? I changed that to something. God damn, I don't remember what it was. Huh. Whatever, we'll figure it out. I had edited this earlier and didn't save it, apparently. But yeah, so that's okay. So let's go over this real quick. Just real quick, we'll go over a quick overview of North of the Border Pro, a quick overview of where my head's at going into this, and then kind of maybe a roadmap on the next couple of episodes on what we're going to be doing. But generally speaking, what I want this to be all of my stuff in one series. So you'll get a Let's Learn, you'll get Let's Learns, you'll get creative meetings, and you'll get the actual shows all wrapped up into one series. Kind of encompassing everything. So you'll if you just want to watch a North of the Border Pro Wrestling save, and you don't care about Let's Learn, and you don't want to see the backstage stuff, you just skip those episodes. You'll just skip all the Let's Learns, and you'll skip all the creative meetings. And you'll be able to just watch just the shows. If you don't care about the Let's Learns, but you do want the creative meetings and the shows, you can do that. If you're only here for the Let's Learn, if you're brand new to the game, and you're just learning it, you just want to watch the Let's Learns, you can do that. Or you can roll it all into one. You can watch every episode we put up, and it'll all be in one specific spot. That being said, some of the Let's Learns that I'm going to do for this are going to kind of recover what we've already done. I'll be a little bit less in-depth with those, just because you've already seen it. So for example, this planning sheet, I'm not going to go crazy in-depth on what this planning sheet is. You can go back to the other Let's Learn. It's the first one we did, and you can look that up, and you can see everything that I've got here. But we will, I'm not going to go down how I assign the rosters. Basically, long story short, you put their name here, their push here. If they're in a stable, you would put that in this column. I use this to track my champions. Win-loss record, you can keep it if you want. I'm going to try and keep track, but I highly doubt I'll keep track of this. I might, though, just because I kind of want to use a little bit of a point system. Not a strict point system, but I do want to kind of keep track of who's having good matches and all that kind of stuff. And then any notes here. This portion over here I use for my scouting, and I just kind of putting names in there of guys that I'm looking at right now that I kind of want to bring in. Right now we got Greg Black. You saw Frankie Perez was on here. We did sign him, so I took him off. Ricky DeColt, Sarah Marie York, Saeed Ali, and Shiori Japencha are the couple of names that I'm looking at currently right now. Doesn't mean I have contract offers to all of them. I think I have contract offers to maybe 2 or 3 of them. But they're just guys that I want to keep an eye on. And it's just a reminder for me to say, hey, check in with Greg Black, see what he's up to. I was thinking about doing a junior heavyweight division. Check in with him, see what he's up to, how's he doing, what kind of matches is he putting on. I'm going to have... Oh, did I not? Damn. Okay. So this is going to be a best of the juniors tournament. So I'm going to be running 4 tournaments every year, 4 yearly tournaments. And they are... Let's go back here. They are the Ed Henson Memorial Tag Team Cup. That's a North of the Border staple. That's something that they've always done. It's one of their biggest... it is one of their biggest shows, one of their most prolific shows, and I am going to keep that going. That's in March. In June, North of the Border occasionally ran a Young Lion tournament. I am going to continue to run that occasionally. It won't be an every year thing. What I'm going to replace it with every year is a best of the juniors. It's the best of the juniors tournament. And that will be in June. That's going to be an every year thing. I'm going to do a junior heavyweight division with a junior heavyweight title. So in our first year, I said season, in our first year, the best of the juniors tournament will actually crown the first ever junior heavyweight champion. Moving forward, it's going to, it'll earn the winner will earn a title shot. Obviously at whatever pay-per-view, probably not Clash Classic. The Clash Classic will be our finale. It'll be our WrestleMania, if you will. So we'll be doing in September. We will have the King of Kings tournament. Let me change that. King of Kings. And then in December will be our Queen of the Ring. North of the Border has a pretty good women's division. Will be the Queen of the Ring. Now, the winner of the King of Kings and the Queen of the Ring tournament, they will get title shots at Clash Classic. So the winner of the King of Kings will take on the champion at Clash Classic. If the champion wins that tournament, then he'll get to choose his opponent. And the same thing for the Queen of the Ring. So the Queen of the Ring, those two will get title shots at Clash Classic. Considering that the best of the juniors and the Ed Henson Cup, considering the Ed Henson Cup, if the winner of that would have to wait a year to get a title shot. We're not going to do that. The winner of that tournament will likely get a title shot at Super Slam. Just go next year. But the Ed Henson Cup, honestly, is to me, that's not a contendership thing. To me, the Ed Henson Cup is prestigious in its own right. And I believe if we pull up our titles, the Ed Henson Memorial Cup, yeah, that in and of itself is an 85 level prestige. So to me, it's not a number one contendership kind of thing. Whereas the King of Kings, while that's prestigious, we haven't even made it yet, would be prestigious. The purpose of winning that, in addition to its prestige, is to earn a title shot. Over here with this, I don't see it that way. Certainly, it would put the winners of that tournament would be in a position where they could say, hey, we deserve a title shot, and almost certainly would get one. But I don't want to put that as an actual stipulation on that tournament. I want that tournament in and of itself to be prestigious. I want it to be, the tag team champs will be in it. To me, it's more, rather than winning it, giving you a title shot, to me it's more like, well, we beat the tag team champions in this tournament, so we deserve a title shot. More like that. Because you look at some of the guys who've won this tournament, Steve DeColt and Johnny Bloodstone, Dan Stone and Jeremy Stone, Dan Stone and Dwayne Stone, Owen Love and The Natural. These are top guys. These aren't mid-level tag teams. These are top-level guys. Hell, the Can-Am Blondes have won it 3 times. So that's kind of where we stand with that. But did I? Now I want to see if I didn't save my thing here. Did I save this? I did. So we have Queen of the Ring in December, King of Kings in September, Best of the Juniors in June, and the Ed Henson Cup in March. Those are basically our 4 major pay-per-views. The Clash Classic will be our finale. That'll be our WrestleMania. So every title on the line there. But yeah, you see the Ed Henson Memorial Cup in and of itself is a legendary pay-per-view. Importance-wise, it's legendary. And so I don't know why this keeps not saving. I can't save a picture there. It's weird. Whatever. So in and of itself, that is essentially, the big deal, right? Haven't decided how I'm going to do that. Am I going to do, is the whole night going to be dedicated to the tournament? Or will it be more like my idea for King of Kings, which is more of a G1 style where it'll build in the weeks? This will likely be a tournament, a one-night tournament. But we don't have to get into that now. What I want to get into now is where we're heading, what we're looking at, what we're looking to do here. We did sign Greg Gage and Frankie Perez. Greg Gage is one of my favorites. Now he's considered to be selfish, flaky, so he's not a great locker room guy, but if anybody's locker room can absorb 1 or 2 bad guys, it's ours. He's a great Rumble, great technical, very strong performance, physical, entertainment, camera. This dude's a star. Dude's an absolute star in the making, 26 years old. We're going to be bringing him in. We just signed him to a 3-year deal. 3-year deal. He'll start in 7 days, so he'll miss this first episode. And then he'll join us for our next TV taping. But we did sign him, and then one above him, Frankie Perez. We brought him in as well. These are all guys, for Frankie Perez, what's Greg Gage? Gage is a middleweight. If I do a junior heavyweight, when I do a junior heavyweight, that'll be middleweights and below. So middleweight will be that cutoff. So middleweights can wrestle either junior heavyweight or heavyweight division. They'll be able to wrestle both. Anybody under middleweight has to be down a level. Anybody over middleweight has to be in the heavyweights. So Frankie Perez, he's a toned lightweight. He'd be down in the junior heavyweight division. And I'm really bringing him in. My goal with him is for him to be the junior heavyweight guy, that the top worker. North of the Border Pro is heavy performance over popularity. And Frankie Perez, at just 31, not old at all, he's performance-wise, he's there, man. 74 on the brawling, 60 on the puro, 66 chain wrestling, 65 mat, 73 submission, 75 basic, 70 psychology. So not great psychology-wise, and 82 star quality, 71 sex appeal. The guy's got it all. My ultimate goal, and I've actually debated even saying this because there's a part of me that kind of wanted to do like for this, that kind of wants to do for the creative meetings. I kind of want to do like an in-character thing, like maybe do like if you go on the Grey Dog software forums, there are diaries. They're like TEW diaries, where people write sort of in character. And I thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool to kind of do like a YouTube series in character, where like the creative meetings are, where we would hold, maybe like here and there I would hold a press conference as Jeremy Stone, right, as the owner of the company, and kind of give kind of a press thing. I don't know if I'm going to do it or not, but what I'd like to do is sort of say, okay, well, this is a scenario where Victoria Stone McFly And Jeremy Stone, it's Jeremy Stone, right? Yeah, Jeremy's the owner of the company. Yeah, and Jeremy Stone he is the owner of the company, right? Did I get that right? North of the Border Pro. Where's North of the Border Pro? Come on, here it is. Well, Victoria's the owner, yeah, technically, but Jeremy, for kayfabe purposes, Jeremy Stone is the owner of the company. What I'd like to do, is kind of basically say, like, okay, like, if we were in character here, Jeremy and Victoria, they're sitting down, they've got their inner circle, and they're basically saying, hey, CGC is falling apart at the seams. This is our opportunity to really grow, and my vision, my vision for this is, we're going to have these four tournaments, right? I want every one of those tournament main events to main event the show, right? I want our heavyweight division to be able to main event, as they already are. But I want our junior heavyweights to be able to main event a show. I want our women to be able to main event a show. I want those three divisions, including the tag teams, but those three divisions, I want to build each one of those and pack them full of stars. So the junior heavies can main event. If that feud is the hottest, that's going on last. The women's division, if that feud's the hottest, it's going on last. I want to have stars in each one of those three divisions. And to me, it starts here with Frankie Perez. Very little popularity in Canada, sort of an unknown in Canada, coming from CZCW. But he's got all the tools. He's got all the tools, including the star quality, to anchor that junior heavyweight division. So, depending on how he does on TV, we got the best of the juniors coming up in, 6 months. The goal to me is for either Frankie Perez or Greg Gage to be the first junior heavyweight champion. A lot can change in 6 months, but that's kind of the goal. That's why we brought him in. Same thing with building our women's division. I historically have struggled with the women's division, but we're going to work at it to kind of get it. So that's kind of where we stand with this. We'll be making a junior heavyweight belt, but I really kind of want to build my year around those 4 tournaments. I've kind of spaced them out, so you've got, the Ed Henson, and then you've got 2 months of no tournaments, 2 months of regular TV, then the best of the juniors, then you've got 2 months, and the King of Kings, then you've got 2 months, Queen of the Ring, and then you've got essentially 1 month, and then the Clash Classic, and it starts back over again. So every third month, we have a tournament. And I don't want to lock myself into one style, so if the King of the Kings is a G1 style this year, next year it might be single elimination. The year after that, it might all take place on one pay-per-view, like King of the Ring or something. I don't want to really lock myself into one specific thing. But basically speaking, each one of those tournaments, the 2 months in between each pay-per-view, each tournament, will sort of be building towards that tournament. If it's something like we decide to do a G1 style, then this whole month here could very well be, from Grappling Glory, that whole month towards Best of the Juniors would be the tournament. And we would just do that on TV. So TV would be the junior heavyweight tournament. Everyone else would sort of be in tag team matches, sort of like New Japan does. But we'll talk about that when we actually do like a Let's Learn, or honestly, that's probably more of a creative meeting. That being said, I want to wrap this up. I don't want this to be too long of an episode. And we're probably closing in now on probably about a half hour or so, 20 minutes. I really want this to just be a, hey, I'm still alive, tune in because we got cool stuff coming kind of thing. I do want to go over real quick. We'll go to our decisions here and who we have contract offers to right now. So Saeed Ali. Ali's a guy that straight brawler, but he's got 81 basics as well, 74 on the psychology, 74 star quality, and he's young. He's 29 years old. So Saeed Ali is a guy that I've always enjoyed booking because he generally he has a reputation in-game as being a bloody street fighter. But if you actually look at his actual ratings, The guy can wrestle. 74 psychology, 81 on the basics, and a 70 brawling. So he's never going to wrestle a mat style match, which goes completely against what North of the Border is. North of the Border is all about mat wrestling. But it's good to have guys like him in there who are brawlers, who change that up a little bit. So we do have a contract offer out to him. We will likely sign him. We do have a contract offer out to Ricky DeColt, obviously. That's one that I'm actually not sure we'll get. Our current offer to him is 4 years, $36,000 per month. We're currently the only offer he's considering. But he does have an offer from SWF, USPW, TCW, as well as us. So he does have 4 offers on the table. And right now, the only reason he's not considering those other 3 is because we just upped our offer to top theirs. So there is a bidding war going on here. We'll see if we can pull off Ricky. I'd love to get Ricky DeColt. Why? Because I'd love to team him with Steve. I like the idea of the, quote, the outsiders. I just like that idea. Steve is already the outsider. He's the outsider, Steve DeColt. And I like the idea of Ricky being in that, with him as well. The only minus, he plays a much better babyface than he does a heel. So there's the possibility that we could bring Ricky in and actually feud him with Steve in sort of a, hey, you left us hanging, you left us out to dry, you left the family, yada, yada, yada. It'd be a little bit hypocritical, though, because Ricky in order for us to get Ricky, he's essentially jumping ship as well. So, I don't know. But we do have an offer out to him. And Christian Price, also from CGC. I think we'll almost certainly secure him. I like him. I like him a lot. 76 on a star quality, but 88 on the sex appeal. He's the stud, Christian Price. He's a good brawler from Canada. He's already at 56 popularity in Canada. What's Ricky at? What's his popularity in Canada? 65. So they're almost identical. But Christian, I want to use Christian Price as a babyface. I don't want him to be a heel. So I plan on bringing him in sort of as the anti-Ricky DeColt, where Ricky comes in as a bad guy, to team with Steve. Christian comes in because he wants to show that he can hang with the technical wrestlers as well. He's not just locked into that CGC style of entertainment. So those are our 3 current contracts awaiting. What I do want from you, before I wrap this up, send me some, if you want to leave them in the comments, if you're familiar with the Cornellverse, I need tag teams. So I'm building the Ed Henson Cup. Obviously, if I go over here, we have Haynes and Brown. Where's the backslash? Haynes and Brown. We have Robinson and Bennett. Let's just do all caps here. We have the Can-Am Blondes. We have... Who else we got? Who's our tag teams here? Iron Might, for sure. Let's get them in there. Iron Might. And we have... There was one more. Who did I miss? The Aces. I like the Aces a lot. So we only have 1, 2, 3, 4... We only have 5 tag teams. Now, I don't know... I mean, obviously, if Ricky comes in, then we'll put Steve and Ricky DeColt in there. But I need tag teams. Now, somebody on Reddit, I was on the Fantasy Bookers subreddit, they suggested taking a look at, let me see if I can pull the info up. They suggest taking a look at CZCW as a company, because they have the American Cobras going coastal and almost famous. So I want to look at, they were saying, where's all of them here? Oh, you know what somebody did suggest, and I actually like it a lot, is, Bulldozer. It's Bulldozer. Hold on. They suggested Bulldozer. Do we have Bulldozer? Where is... Bulldozer Brandon Smith. There it is. So somebody had suggested Bulldozer Brandon Smith and Finley O'Faraday as a tag team, and I like that a lot. Yeah, so they're already a tag team. What are they? American Demolition. So I like that a lot. I like these guys a lot. So I'm wondering how much it's going to cost, and I can get them fairly cheap. So I'm going to bring them in for a year because I'm not sure that they really fit our mold. Travel's not covered. I never cover travel. We'll do a Let's Learn on that. Well, while I'm here, let's talk contract structure. Let's knock that out right now. I never cover travel. And the reason I never cover travel is it doesn't seem to really bother them all that much. And you rack up, if your miscellaneous costs are through the roof, it's probably because you're covering travel. Don't cover travel. It doesn't bother them all that much. They don't really need it. I offer them, generally speaking, a bonus, a 1-month bonus. I almost never touch these. I always include a non-compete clause, unless it's the only way I can get them to come in. I never offer them any of these. Do not, especially, if you want to offer a wage matching, sometimes I'll do wage matching. I never offer a hiring veto, and I never offer creative control. Don't do it. It will come back to bite you. They will screw you. Wage matching is okay. If you're bringing in Tommy Cornell, for example, wage matching is okay. All that means is if you bring somebody in and you're paying them more than this guy's salary will automatically increase to match that. So basically, it just guarantees him that he'll always be your top guy financially. So sometimes I'll give that. Generally speaking, nothing extra. A bonus, very rarely ever give a bonus. I'll give this to top guys if I think, like I might have to give Ricky DeColt a bonus. And it's basically like 10% per event or something like that. But a guy like O'Faraday, you don't need to give him a bonus. I like to keep my guys available for all shows. Sometimes I'll do everything except house shows. But generally speaking, all shows. They don't seem to bother that. The only time you want to change this is if a guy is older. Sometimes he'll ask to not have to work house shows or BTV shows. And your push. Again, I don't often touch this because most guys are okay with just being normal. But you can guarantee, you can sweeten the pot. Most of these are just for sweetening the deal. How to utilize somebody. Take a look. So if you were to click as one of our icons and then click the question mark, workers who are used as icons will expect to be on all available major shows to rarely lose and be protected in their rare losses. I'm not going to go through every one of these. You can, but it is a good way to kind of keep guys happy. So if I bring in an older guy, you can bring him in to pass the torch. I like gatekeepers. They're rarely complain about losing to people slightly less popular than them, given that their role is to help prepare people for the next level. I do use this one. And I use it if I'm bringing in a guy who's a little bit older, and I want him to basically be, so he's my upper mid-card gatekeeper, right? He's going to beat pretty much everybody below him, but he is going to be the guy who slingshots people up into the main event. I'll give him that gatekeeper role. And that'll just kind of make sure that he's a little bit... Derek Frost over here, he's a perfect example of a gatekeeper. He's not on a gatekeeper's contract, but when his contract comes up, I'll probably sign him to a gatekeeper's contract. Guy who can work, never going to be a heavyweight champ, but he's steadily locked into that upper mid-card, and he's the guy you beat on the way to the main event. That's what that's for. But definitely take a look through these. You click on one, click the question mark. Definitely take a look, get to know them. I rarely use them, but the ones that I do use are helpful. Your role on the roster, basically just kind of telling a guy, hey, this is what I need you for. I like to do whatever is needed, but I will occasionally do, hey, exclusively in ring. But generally, it doesn't really matter. I do occasionally use this contract would be for 1 year or however many appearances, especially for if I'm bringing these guys in just for that tournament, then I could say, hey, I need you for 6 months or this many appearances. And I actually may do that. When is... The Ed Henson Cup is 3 months from now, so I may sign him just to like a 6-month contract. I am actually going to do that, actually. Let's not even do a year. let's do 6 months. So we're going to bring Finn Leo Faraday in for 6 months. We'll make him that offer. Cool. We'll hear back from him soon. And we're also going to go get Bulldozer. We'll get Bulldozer Brandon Smith. We'll bring him in for 6 months. Basically making a little bit more. Travel's not covered. Bonus of 5,300. And we'll add them now. We're going to add them to our scouting. Alright, guys. So I'm not really sure what happened here. I'm actually adding this audio in now post-production. It looks like Camtasia stopped recognizing my microphone halfway through this video, or I knocked the wire out on my own. So, obviously, as you can see, the video is still playing, but you're now hearing my voice from post-production. So, I just was going to give you, I'll leave the video up running here. I'm not going to talk through the rest of this video. There's another 12 minutes left in this video. So I am just going to give you the quick rundown on what we did, and then I'm just going to cut the video short, because I don't want to go back and re-narrate it. So basically, all you're looking at here is a couple of tag teams that we looked into signing. It was American Demolition, obviously, the American Cobras, and Almost Famous were a couple of the tag teams that we made offers to. And I talked a little bit about the reasoning for that. You know, bringing them all in on 6-month contracts, basically tryout contracts. That'll get us through the Ed Henson Cup, and then we can decide what to do with them after that. But the biggest thing is age. Our tag team division is super old. I mean, our 2 best tag teams are both over almost 45 years old, all 4 guys. So it's time to start bringing in a little bit of a youth movement into that tag team division. And that's basically all that we're doing here. That's really all that we did for the next 12 minutes. That's all we were doing here, was going through this. There's no real Let's Learns in here. Yeah, I'm pulling up Jake Idol right now. Yeah, so basically that's what we did. This is America, Almost Famous, and we brought them in as well. The only other thing I wanted to do before I'm gonna cut this video short, but at the end of this video, I talked about just a couple of things, maybe. Doing some creative meetings and stuff for this, bringing in Kato, Professor, something like that. But while I'm talking about Kato and Professor, I do want to plug their stuff that they're doing. Kato's doing an awesome, he's got an Instagram page up, it's called Back to the Indies. If you're a fan of independent pro wrestling, go check that out. It's starting to really take off, he's really proud of it, he's working hard on it. I'm not a big social media guy. Book It Better has an Instagram, it never gets updated. It has a Twitter, it almost never gets updated. I'm just not a big social media guy. Kato does a really good job with that stuff, though. So he's over there. It's Back to the Indies, Max and Kato. Sort of an offshoot of Book It Better, focusing on independent wrestling primarily in the Northeast United States. But he highlights some new independent pro wrestlers that he's seen. He talks about some of the shows that he's been to. He and I are going to try and get to a few shows, do some podcast reviews, that kind of stuff. It's really awesome. It's called Back to the Indies. Professor is working on his own thing right now. That's sort of not wrestling related, but has a lot of wrestling content on it. It's called Dudefluencer. And that's going to be his website coming out soon. We were looking to launch it in August. That didn't quite happen. There's about 15 guys, 15 people working on this website. And it's all things dude that you'll need, information that you'll want to know. So I just wrote an article for them. It's called So You're About to Be a Dad. Obviously, I got Hurricane Maxwell, I got a toddler, I got a new baby on the way. We talked about that earlier. And I just wrote a little bit of a cheat sheet, sort of a quick article. Hey, if you're going to be a dad for the first time or the second time, it's scary, but here's what you need to know. And I'm really proud of that piece. I'm proud of what I do. I'm proud of the YouTube stuff. I'm proud of my work. But being a dad is really a passion. It's my passion. It's what I'm most proud of, is being a dad to my daughter and being a good father and the best dad that I can be. So you'll find that over on dudefluencer.com. I don't know if that's up and running yet, but bookmark it now. Keep an eye on it. Put it on your short list, because it's going to be a really cool thing. They got a lot of stuff. How to properly fit yourself for a suit. How to properly fit yourself for a fitted baseball cap. If you're in the DC area, they're doing some of those guys are doing reviews on the best wings in the area, best ballpark food near Nats Park, things like that. So definitely check that out. with that, I'm going to leave you. I'm going to cut this video short. You don't need to see any of the stuff that's being recorded right now. All it is I'm just talking about how old some of these guys are, and we'll get into that in our creative meeting. What's going to be coming up next? A bunch of Let's Learns to start things off. We'll do a bunch of Let's Learns to start, probably about 3 or 4 Let's Learns. Then we'll start our creative meetings, and then we'll start getting into it. Our first show that we book will actually be a Let's Learn. So we'll do it that way. We'll do a Let's Learn, how to book a show, and then we'll do the actual show. But with that, guys, I leave you. Thank you for welcoming me back into your homes, back into your earphones, your truck, your car, wherever you listen to me. Thank you for allowing me back in. Thank you for sticking with me while I was gone for the last 2-3 months. It means a lot to me to see you guys were still around and still kind of gave a shit. So with that, I'll leave you. Thanks for stopping by. Join me every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, except for this Friday, for more great content. And as we embark on our Cornellverse save, which has been a long time in the making, and I'm super excited about it. So, folks, thank you for stopping by. I will see you when I see you.